Hello YouTube and welcome back into another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Valheim, and as you may have been able to tell from the intro, title, thumbnail, all of that sort of stuff, which usually gives away what the topic of a video is, I built Talnberg Castle in Valheim, and it was very difficult and took an extraordinarily long amount of time, but I think it really pays off. Let's just go up into the air and take a peek-see. We'll do a nice detailed walkthrough, but first, we'll just do the footprint. So as you can see, this outer bailey here in particular is not 100% accurate, but it's pretty dang close considering, you know, that I had to build it in this game. Now, obviously, the architectural style isn't perfect, and I don't have as many options as I would need to accurately do justice to any of the stuff in Kingdom Come Deliverance. But this is close enough that while walking through it after I finished it, doing my final walkthrough, I was getting serious deja vu because I was like, God, it feels exactly like I'm in Talnberg. Just suffice it to say, I understand that the outer bailey isn't perfect, but I think I got it pretty dang close, given that by the time I figured out that it wasn't going to be dimensionally correct, I would have had to tear down everything, and we're talking, I don't know, like on this outer bailey, probably 7 or 8 hours of work. So definitely a decent amount. But as you can see, looks pretty good. We have the combat ring, the main little house building out in the bailey. There's the barn, a couple sheds, the corner tower, the gatehouse. So all the main elements are there. We've got the full walkwayed wall with the spikes and everything, just like it is in the thing, so that's fun. One small change that I have over the one from the game, I mean, you can see this corner goes up really high. It doesn't do that. But then this little walkway here, instead of kind of coming down from the outer bailey, it goes up from the outer bailey. So not only, this is not perfect, and I would have rather it was the other way, but unfortunately I hit the upper build limit when I was building here, and I built the castle first, so this was kind of the only option. And this is actually defensively better, especially if you consider that that bridge there is actually supposed to be a drawbridge. So, with that in mind, let's also just look at the castle quick. So you can see the castle I did actually manage to get pretty dang accurate. It's pretty close to exactly how it is in the game. And I spent, I mean, this probably was about 12 or 14 hours, like it took forever. But so that's the aerial view, and we'll probably do one more when we, before we end off the video, but let's just quick walk through it. Before we get too far into this video, I would like to say, if you do like this, definitely leave a like and a comment. It helps a lot in the algorithm and shows that you like the content that I put so much time and effort into. But yeah, so basically here we are, right when you walk through the gatehouse. It's a little bit different in the game. There's a wall there normally, and there's obviously people walking around, but like I said, it's got the same feel as the main structure. I'll have to fix that because that was smooth before. So here's that main house. There's a loft up there. There's no ladders in the game, so I don't have a way to get up there because I didn't want to build a staircase. But hopefully at some point they'll put ladders in. But yeah, this is just that little house that's out in the bailey, so there's that. Nothing too complex. Like I said, I spent way more time on the castle than I did out here. This is just a barn, not much in there. Back here's the combat ring where you'll find Sir Robard training men. Up there we've got some crops, because there are crops in Talmberg in the outer bailey. I couldn't grow any grain or anything here, which is what they have growing in the game in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but you know, I'll do what I can. Empty little shed buildings, just like in the game. There's 2 of them, one slightly bigger than the other one. This one isn't empty. I've got like storage and stuff in there. Nothing in the storage though. Then you can either get up onto the walkway from there, where I had to build a staircase. Again, it's not perfect because you kind of just walk up the earthworks in the other one. But like I said, I couldn't actually build the earthworks up any higher. This was the upper limit. But then you can go up into the gatehouse. It's just a tiny little gatehouse. It's not big. And then you can go into the corner tower over here. Same thing. It's not as complex, but there's not ladders in here, and Kingdom Come Deliverance utilizes ladders. Right here is where you would have been standing when Markvart von Aulitz rolls up with his big army, except I think we're up a little bit higher here, so a little bit more defensible. In fact, this castle's probably significantly more impressive than the Talnberg in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but, you know, I did my best to try and capture the spirit of Talnberg, because it's my favorite castle from Kingdom Come Deliverance. So, again, goes around, like I said, has the same basic shape as the bailey from Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's just that the dimensions are a little bit off, but, like I said, I got it as close as I could. And so far, this is easily the most impressive and ambitious project I've had in Valheim. So then we go from the outer bailey up this. Like I said, this is not how it is in the game. In the game, it actually goes, the outer bailey goes down a little bit, and then the bridge to the drawbridge is level. But this would be way more defensible this way, so I still think this is better. Then just like the front gate, I have a simulated portcullis. Obviously, we don't, just like I have a simulated drawbridge, those functions aren't in the game, but I made it look like it is, and I think the portcullis turned out looking especially cool. And the drawbridge looks pretty normal. Of course, it starts raining again. I can never make it 5 minutes in this game without raining. Once you go through the gatehouse, you have your, just like in the regular game, you can go up and to the right and get up onto the inner bailey ramparts up there, or you can go in. So we'll start out here in the ramparts. So again, here, this would be earthworks in the game, but I couldn't do it because it was too high, so I had to build it up with these, but it turned out alright anyway. In through there, you just have a tiny little room where I have some storage. But you go out here on the ramparts and you can actually walk all the way around the outside. Because I couldn't build the earthworks up as high as they are in the game, it looks a little bit different. Normally there would have been more level changes, but since I couldn't do that, I just kept it static, kind of like this, because it just simplified the build, considering this was already pretty complex. There's the back door into the scribe's office, a huge tactical flaw, but it's on the castle in Kingdom Come Deliverance, so I kept it in there. We've got some windows. This one's ground level. That wouldn't be ideal because you'd have water running in there, but I mean, if there's glass in it, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. What can I say? I built the outside after I built the inside. But it goes around, it has the curved corners, just like the castle from the game. Those were not the easiest thing in the world to build, but I think in the end it was worth it because it turned out great. Then we go up to the upper gatehouse armory over here, and this isn't perfect, but the way that it is in the game is really complex. So there's no way I could have A, fit that here, or B, even done that, because the stair system in this game is very, very limited. But when you get up here, I've got a nice, fully equipped weapons room. You can see it's kind of like Talmberg's upper thing. There's spears, swords, shields, bows, got some knives, some axes. It's really well equipped. So definitely a great place for all the guards to store all of their junk. So let's pop around and go in through the front. So we're back down to the front gate. I did actually put some doors here. I don't think there are in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but having a nice gatehouse, an actual secondary gatehouse here. Now mind you, I would also probably put a gate here or something, because if you're going to have your entryway up into there, if someone does happen to get through your drawbridge and portcullis, which is doubtful, but I guess it could happen, you wouldn't want them being able to walk right up onto your battlements, so I'd have a gate there. But at least here we have a secondary gatehouse where I've got enough space for murder holes, and we've got 2 levels. Obviously you could have portcullis here would be better than just an iron gate and a wooden gate, but this works as well. So we go through into here, you've got the side thing over here, which I think is just like a little woodshed or something in the game. Got a well, which obviously is a bit bigger than it is in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I had to work with what they gave me. Got our little stable area for the horses. There are no horses in this game, but if there were, I'd put them in there. We've got our little bench where Lady Stephanie sits, so that's nice. Got this building. Looks almost exactly like it does in KCD. And much like in KCD, it's got this second story door that leads absolutely nowhere, so that's fun. I mean, it leads into this room, but in KCD there's no way to get in there, so it's interesting. Back here we've just got some cart and some firewood. And we've got the little place where Henry stays. Because of this was the last thing I built in the castle, was this little building, so the dimensions are a little off, but this would be where Henry sleeps when he first gets to Talnberg, except it would have been its own private room in the game. And then here there's just the bunkhouse where all the other people were sleeping. So, fun there. I know, I'm getting deja vu walking through this. It's like I'm in Kingdom Come Deliverance. So then if we go to the ground floor of the castle here, we've got the dining area for the main people, and it looks pretty similar to how it does in the game. I made sure of that because I took pictures and built while I was doing it. And then here we have the kitchen. Like I said, it's the Valheim version of the kitchen, but I think it's got all the basic elements. Just picture someone cooking there. And then there's just another room over on the side. It's kind of like the one in there. It's got some beds in it and a table and all that sort of stuff. So that's the ground floor of the castle. And this castle is freaking huge. It's easily the biggest thing I've ever built in this game. So if we go up the walkway, which is, I mean, the railings are a little tall, but it fits other than that. We get into the Valheim version of Divish's main room. Now, we don't have all the lovely artwork on the walls and no Talnberg banners, but the table is laid out basically the same. It's a little bit longer than it is in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but we've got Divish's main chair over on the side, storage over here in the corner, little extra seating area, a nice rug. Got some food out on the table. Here we've got Divish's bedroom. Again, it's not perfect, but I got a lot of the elements are the same from in there. No canopy beds, and I tried building one to simulate it, but it looked really bad. So I just switched it back to a regular bed. This is normally where I sleep. And then if we go over onto this side, this is where that's the scribe's chamber that I was talking about. If I could have a bookshelf back here, it would be absolutely perfect. And I didn't put a bed in here like there is in the game, but it works. And then here's that back door I said that goes out onto the battlements. So there's the main level, or the second level, or whatever you want to call it. Let's go up to the top. Top turned out pretty good, I think. So here's the hallway. And in Talnberg, they actually used the logs up on this level, so I was glad I was able to do that. And here we have Lady Stephanie's bedroom. It's smaller than it is, and I didn't include like a corner fireplace, but other than that, I think it turned out pretty decent. Bed's pretty shabby. I probably could have given her the fancy bed, but I didn't. She had trophies on the wall in hers, so I put some up. Got a bench, just like in the game. Then we get popped down here. Here's the next bedroom over, which is the one that Robard usually sleeps in. Just like that bedroom, it's got 2 beds, storage chests, benches, a Christmas present. It's basically shot-for-shot remake. Then the chapel is the next one. That one was decently hard to make because there's no like Christian iconography that I could use. And I tried making a cross with the beams and I couldn't get it to work because this room is just too small. So I would have needed to make one way too big. But other than that, if you picture some kneelers in front of there and some Christian-looking paintings up there, this is actually basically exactly the same. I mean, the walls aren't decorated, but like I said, I don't have that option. I built an extra room down here because I had extra room for it, and it makes sense that a castle like this would have extra space for guards to sleep and stuff, because you wouldn't want them all sleeping down in the village if you could house them up here. So we've got just some storage down here, but then up here, because there's a lot of unused room in the game in the upstairs, we've got just a ton of bunk space. So, I mean, I could probably put more stuff up here, but for now, it's just an extra sleeping area for the castle guards. Like I said, I think it would make sense that you would house them in here. And in the game, there's like a bunch of bedrolls in all the towers, but if you could keep them in the main building up somewhere where they're going to be dry and warm, I think that would make more sense. We go down to this little walkway, you can look down into the courtyard, and I think it looks really, really cool. Like I said, this is easily the coolest thing I've ever built in the game. And you can also look out of the battlements. And these I built very, very similar to how they look in Kingdom Come Deliverance. If we go into the tower, you can actually use the tower. This tower was really tall, so it was kind of hard to build. So you can see I had to use a lot of support structure. And I also went with a new method of staircases because the stairs in this game, like I said, stair system in this game sucks. So I built a manual staircase. But we get up to the top, great big room, had to do a spiral support structure to keep the dome up. It's awesome. I've got all these arrow loops in it that actually, like, I was so glad that they turned out looking that good. So this is where Radzig gets held captive. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. But that's the tower. And if we head back down this upper hallway, we can go into the other side of the battlements. They're just right outside here, just like in the game. And again, you can look down out of the battlements here. And I like these because they're covered battlements. Or you can look down into the courtyard. And I did not make these walls hollow. So just like in Kingdom Come Deliverance, these are accurately thick walls. So they're, I think, 4 meters thick. They're nice and thick, which is accurate because castle walls were designed to take hits from catapults and trebuchets without breaking. And here we have just that circular turret. I didn't really build anything extra in here. I could, but I didn't. Then out here we've got the front battlements, and it's funny, I built this exactly like it is in Kingdom Come Deliverance. So like you can look out of these first couple holes and see stuff, but then the next ones, there are holes, but they just look straight at the gatehouse. So that's a fun little thing, but I built it just like it is in the game. And then from here you can look down into the courtyard. So again, this castle it's as close to a replica of Talnberg as I could get using just the assets that Valheim currently has. I really hope they add extra stuff because it'll, like, even tile roofing is something that would have made this look so much more like Talnberg because Talnberg doesn't have thatched roofing on all of its castle parts. It does out in the village, but not in the castle parts. But honestly, it turned out just super great. I'm so glad that it turned out because if it didn't turn out good, I wasn't going to make a video about it. I decided that while I was making it. I said if I can't make it look at least somewhat like Talnberg so that people could look at it and be like, oh yeah, that looks kind of like it, then I wouldn't make a video. But I think it turned out looking really great. If I wouldn't have told you what it was and just walked you through it, I think a lot of people would have recognized it. That's the main castle. Like I said, we'll do one more loop around the outside so you can appreciate. It's huge. Like even my 3-ring concentric castle, which was really, really big, isn't nearly this big. This is just a massive structure. And I built it as close to a 1-to-1 scale as I could. So it feels really big, whereas a lot of the stuff that people build in this game looks big from the outside, but then you get into it and it's just cluttered and really small. Here's the outer bailey. Like I said, we've got this round turret here. I tried another roofing style there, which I think looks pretty cool. That's in a nutshell Talmberg Castle. Now, as you can see, the walkway going up to it is just rough. I just needed something that I could walk up and down on while I was building, because I just used the flying and stuff to film afterwards, because it doesn't actually help that much in building. It's easier to make sure you're getting everything straight if you're actually on the ground, at least in my opinion. But if this video does well enough, I will probably continue and do the entire settlement. So that's why I chose here, is because down on this slope I think there's more than enough room to build the rest of Talnberg. So if this video does well enough, I'll probably do that. So you'll see the road continuing down, bathhouse, tavern, all of it. So to that effect, if you want to see that, definitely like, definitely comment, and if you know anyone that you think would like this type of content, definitely share it out, because recently my videos have been getting a fraction of their regular views, and I mean going down from at the bare minimum hundreds or a couple thousand views to getting a few dozen views on videos. So I don't know if I'm being targeted specifically or if people just don't like my content, but whatever it is, my channel has taken a nosedive. So yeah, definitely like, comment, and share if you can. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.